Well, hello there, nonprofit accidental techie family. It is Friday. It's April Fool's Day, which I thought about, could I do something super sneaky and funny today? But we're not. Actually, we're going to talk about a topic that's really important. If you are here watching live on LinkedIn or my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, you know my name is Maureen Walbioff. I'm a nonprofit digital strategist and technology coach. And my passion in life somehow has turned out to be helping non technical folks, nonprofit teams, make really good decisions about the technology that they use to run their organizations, engage their supporters, and grow their fundraising programs. And just about every Friday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern, I come on live and bring some experts, some colleagues who have the answers. And we've had a lot of buzz on social media about today's session because we're going to talk about getting customer support, technical support from your software partner, from the company that provides your CRM or your email marketing tool or your volunteer system or whatever it happens to be. And I'm really thrilled to bring two friends from Eleo Online on to talk about this today because, I'm like Switzerland. Everybody, has a preference for the systems that they use and the companies that they partner with. But I think that the folks at Eleo just do a really great job of understanding the kinds of support that an accidental techie might need to use their system. So Caroline, Sweeney, Rook, will you do a quick intro for us? And then we'll have Pam do an intro.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Caroline. I work at Eleo actually in the marketing and the sales department, and sometimes dabble in a bit of support. I get a unique perspective, I think, being on the sales and marketing team and understanding what all softwares are doing, what they're
Mhm.
offering, the different tiers of support. How they're engaging with those nonprofit clients. My background's in counseling. I used to work at nonprofits, so I have a soft spot as well for organizations of all types. It makes a difference in this world, even though sometimes it feels like it's a slow and steady train, right? You guys are the little engine that could. So that's about me, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation about support today.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks, Caroline. Okay, we have a real live support person in this live session today. She's the person at the other end of that phone or email. Pam, would you do us a favor and give yourself an intro as well?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Maureen, for having me also. My name's Pam Stakunas. I work at Elio as a support specialist. Like she said, I'm there to help answer questions. I'm happy to be included in this conversation.
Oh, yeah, we needed you. Caroline identified very quickly as we were cooking this session up. We need somebody who is on the other end of the phone. So, customer support, technology glitches always happen at the wrong time for all of us in our personal and our professional lives. I don't care if it's your phone isn't updating, your printer went offline, or you're trying to run a report or make something happen in your nonprofit CRM or database, and either nothing happens or something unexpected happens. So we all need it. Some of us need it more than others. And I think all of us have had, let's just say, the rainbow of experiences when it comes to connecting with customer support. Let's start like at the beginning. What kind of support, technical support, I'm stucky type of support, should a nonprofit client expect from their software providers? And I know that you can just speak to the Eleo perspective. What does support mean to a company like Eleo? What does that actually entail?
Yeah, I think it's really important for a nonprofit, especially when they're hunting for a software, to ask questions about the support process
Mhm.
because each nonprofit's going to need something a little bit different. So, in our experience, Elio, we offer the gamut of support options, and you need to tailor it to your needs. So, maybe you prefer a live chat Maybe you prefer email where someone's going to get back to you within 24 hours. Maybe you like to pick up the phone and talk to someone immediately. Different offerings will be available to you at different companies.
Mm.
And so support to you as an organization, it's really important to meet as a team and determine what avenues do we need to thrive and what avenues, how do we learn best? The way that people learn can differ. And so I think that that's really important as a nonprofit to identify and then search for when you're looking for support on a software.
Yeah, because it's not always the same. Some people prefer a method and some companies prefer to offer a method. I think we've all gotten stuck in I send an email, I try to describe what's going on, I get an email with 6 more questions, and then, a week has gone by with a lot of back and forth. Pam, in your role, when you get a support request from an Eleo client, what are some of the first things that you think or actions that you might take?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our primary ways within our software are email as well as phone calls, or we also offer trainings and things of that nature. But, always just in general, the biggest thing is what are you trying to accomplish? And I always like to say, what is the end result? Are you looking to solve a problem? Are you looking to run a report? If you want to run a report, what do you want to see on that report? Because that could greatly affect, what direction I point you in. So
Mhm.
it's really, really important to know exactly what you're looking for. So that way, and more of like a big picture sense. So that way we can really dive in and get you the answers that you need.
So yes, is it a problem or is it an output? I love your term of outcome because it's either going to be my problem is solved or together we figured out how to make a thing
Right.
do whatever it is I need.
Yeah.
And so the advice on the other side then, right from the beginning, for the nonprofit person is to have that in your mind when you initiate that support request, right? No, you don't have to use technical terms, but be pretty clear about what you want. And then, Pam, how much detail do you expect people to provide? What's something, is there like a mental checklist that someone might want to have when they're submitting a request for support, in addition to, hey, this is what I want to have happen when this problem is solved?
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure necessarily. I mean, I think the checklist might vary from situation to situation, but
Mhm.
overall, just really being as detailed as you can. Some situations might require you like, okay, I'm running this report. I need X, Y, and Z. Where other times maybe it's, an error you're encountering, or maybe you don't even know what you want. So really just trying to, figure that out. That's really step one, and then we can really get into it and help you because there's so many times you start your conversation one way and then it ends up a completely different way. So just really trying to know from the start is really helpful and will save everybody a lot of time.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think to that point, the conversation about knowing what you're looking for in defining terms.
Mhm.
Sometimes a term can be different across nonprofits or how they're using that. So if you come even with definitions, right? This is how we identify campaigns. This is how we identify our year to year. Like, what is your
Mhm.
calendar year? That can be really helpful to the support team in knowing, okay, this is where we're going to start. This is our jumping off point. And that can help build not only for that specific conversation, but your relationship with that support staff into the future,
Mhm.
because they will then know who you are and how you're functioning.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And, people use technology. So the technology isn't always going to do everything that we want.
Yeah.
Glitches happen. It's just part of life. But I really want to encourage nonprofit staffers to sort of be able to take a breath before initiating a support request, even if it's hair on fire time, like I got to get this email out before the end of the day. Like, it's not going to be a tragedy. Nobody's probably going to lose their jobs, like take it down a notch. And I've had to learn how to do that myself, because I go from like 0 to OMG very quickly. So needed to just take a pause. And I guess really the first step, in addition to kind of identifying the great tips that Pam and Caroline shared, is start with the help in the product, right? Like,
Yes.
do a little just-in-time investigation. It may not solve your problem. It's maybe 10 or 15 minutes out of your day before you log that support ticket. But I think for someone like Pam, is it helpful for you to know what someone has already tried to do, or where they've tried to go to find help before they pinged you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely, from an Eleo perspective, we offer, a whole library of resources. I think many other softwares do the same,
Mhm.
so you can kind of be your own advocate and kind of learn things or check into things. So it's helpful if I know, oh, did you look in the library, or what did you try already? So that way I have
Mhm.
a place to go. Okay, you already tried this. Let me point you somewhere else. So I think that is definitely helpful, to do things and also know what they have tried. Screenshots are another thing I wanted to bring up. That is huge. We're not trying to say that you're lying to us by any means, but it's super helpful for like, this is exactly what you did. Or, jumping on a Zoom, like now we do a lot of live things like that as well. That can be very helpful to see exactly what is happening.
Caroline, do you have any sort of experiential color to add to where we're at right now about what should I be doing first, or trying to do as the nonprofit client
Yeah.
before I connect with Pam?
Yeah, and I think it's important to note too that it can go even beyond the library. Again, on the marketing side of things, seeing different platforms offering. So some people have help on an external platform like
Mhm.
Help Scout. Some people have it internal to the software like Elio does. You have a library, you have help screens that are giving you like legitimately on that screen, what does each thing mean?
Mhm.
What does each button do? Um, and then beyond that, it can go a step further, right? And this goes back to their offerings. What does the software provide? We do webinars.
Mhm.
We have training Tuesdays. So if you want just like a more umbrella type of training when you're first
That's
getting
great.
on, every other Tuesday you can hop on and you learn just those basics of software. So aside from just your problem, right? Making sure that you're learning the software outside of just when you need support. Dive
Mhm.
into that library, dive into those webinars, dive into those e-guides, and learn external to crisis.
Yeah, that's very well said. Like, have a little ownership
Yeah.
in not solving your own problem necessarily, although that's awesome, but being an owner, being an involved person. Now, not all of us can be involved owners. Sometimes a task sort of finds its way to our to-do list, and it's about something that we were never formally trained on, or we do need some help, or some training help. Pam, would you say, and this is just rough numbers here, I'm curious how much of the support requests that you handle are categorized as a training opportunity or truly a technical issue? How does that fall out for you in your experience?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it can vary, day to day. Even some days it's more heavily training, and other
Yeah.
days it's more technical side. But
Mhm.
I mean, I think for the most part, it's probably pretty even, most of the time. Obviously, again, day to day changes, but overall, I think, sometimes it's just a matter of like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before. So can you
Mhm.
help me? Or, I have this deadline. I need to get this done. Can you help me? And other times it's, oh, I'm getting this error. So it really just varies. But I think it's pretty well split in my quick thought about that whole thing and how my days look. So I would say more so, it really it
Mhm.
can be both.
And we see each other's calendars, like the sales team,
Mm.
marketing teams, the support teams. And so it is funny. You will have weeks where it's so heavy. They're different. It's color coordinated.
Ah,
And you can see how others' weeks are going. Like, okay, they need some additional, maybe the support team needs some additional support too.
support people need support. What a
Yeah.
concept, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that the other thing that we talked about in preparation for this conversation today is, attitude.
Mhm.
We've all had experiences where it just didn't seem like the person on the other end of the phone was super invested in our success. And we also, I think each of us have brought maybe a less than open frame of mind to our support interaction. So you know that in these live sessions, I'm always talking about communication and clear back and forth, things in writing, making sure everybody sees the same picture in their heads.
Mhm.
When you're working on something together and collaborating. So this is one of those places where that thing that your grandmother used to say, you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. It's really, really true. So even if you are amped up and angry because it's the fourth time this thing has happened and you're over it already, and it's at the wrong time and it's the end of your day, whatever it is, that you've got to just get into a space where you are partnering with the person or people or ticketing system that is giving you support. Make a friend. If you make a friend with someone like Pam at your first support interaction, you're building on that then. Every time you ping support, whether it's Pam or someone at your particular software company, you build on that stuff. It's really important to make friends and not put a target on your support person's forehead because they happen to be the person that you're interacting with. Pam, do you have any tips? Like, that people get all like ratcheted up about this stuff. So anything that you found that you say to a support requester that you feel sort of helps to make sure that they know that you're on the same team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really all about, almost like, okay, let's take a breath, if you need to get to that point, or just even kind of smiling, be like, okay, just making sure it's okay, hear them out. They want
Mhm,
to tell you, oh, this is happening, this deadline. People just want to be heard, we understand that.
mhm.
We're there for you and just making sure they know that. We are here to help. I understand you're in this situation, you're having this problem. Let's take it step by step and get you
Mhm.
to a good place and figure it out.
Pam, I can think of 3 other companies I would love to have you work right now that are not even in the nonprofit software business, but yeah. And Caroline, I've got a follow-up question for you, which is kind of levels of triage, right? Are there things that, yes, the red warning lights are going to go off if somebody reports a specific type of problem? Can you help us understand a little bit how internally you categorize support requests in terms of drama or urgency?
Yeah, we do. We have a number of strategies, whether it's more of a request. We have
Mhm,
company-wide pie chart that we track and monitor requests. So maybe the system just doesn't have it yet. So then
mhm,
we know, okay, our clients or prospects are asking for XYZ. We always want to make sure that we're rolling out new arenas of nonprofit support that we can then stay with the times.
mhm.
We also have an entire ticketing system that she dives deep into those tickets. I don't know Pam, are there different levels of tickets? I know that once it becomes
Yes.
a serious issue, there's definitely a code red, and then it goes immediately to the programming team. And
Right.
sometimes if it's incredibly urgent, we'll do an update that night, and
Wow.
make sure that yeah, so we really try to be communicative
Mhm.
with our nonprofits too. Um, but I know the requests are in our pie charts. We have a whole ticketing system, and then there's like code red within the ticketing system.
Pam got things to add to that? Like, what's the code? What are like an example or two of what would be a code red support
Yeah,
request?
I mean, I think, to get to that level, it's really almost like the whole system goes down. Like if our server crashes, which is out of our control, but it does happen, from time to
Mhm.
time. And we'll just kind of be right on top of that because obviously that's the most critical. You have to get in there. You have to be able to do what you need to do. Or things maybe related to credit card processing, which is
Right.
huge for
Mhm.
nonprofits. They have to be able to collect their donations. I mean, that's how they live and breathe, so we need that done immediately. Whereas things where maybe like adding some feature or something to a report is obviously, we want to address it, but it's not high priority.
Yeah.
Bugs are somewhere in the middle, so it's kind of like low to high, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then bugs fall depending on the severity and how many clients are affecting, then we'll prioritize it accordingly.
Yeah, and to that point with the bugs, we try to put out in our monthly newsletter. We say what
Mhm.
bugs we've squashed, so people know
That's
and they
great.
stay updated. And to the previous point too of developing a relationship with your support specialist, I think that's another really important question for nonprofits to be asking when they're searching for software
Oh yeah.
is, do I get a different person every time? Or can I
Mhm.
talk to the same person? Elio sets it up that you can, if you would like, talk to the same person every single time. So you do develop that relationship and they're going to know who your
Mhm.
nonprofit is. So again, just understanding what you're getting from your software is really important.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that. That open-ended questions
Mm,
about things like support will get you more info than if you say, "So, do you guys provide 24/7 report, support? Yes, no, like whatever it is, just the facts." I
yeah.
think saying, "Tell me about the support experience."
Mm,
And I would also ask a reference that as well
mhm,
as, tell me about your experience working with their support team. And, now is a challenging time for anybody to try to make sure that they've got a full team, whether it's inside a nonprofit organization, great resignation stuff. That's also applying to software companies. And so I feel like if you are noticing that your support experience is different than it has been in
mhm.
the past, that you should probably ping your account rep or someone to just ask gently, like, what's up over there? It seems like it's taking a little bit longer. Just like nonprofit staffers are like, where is my director of communications? This position has been open for 6 months. Everybody's feeling that pinch, that
Mhm.
trained people pinch, and so maybe keep that in mind.
Very true.
When you're it's all about a partnership, right? I use the term vendor, salesperson, but really what you want to be doing right from the first time that you start talking to a prospective software partner is building a relationship and building a partnership. A partner is someone who's as invested in your success as
Mhm.
you are. And so I'm sure that Elio feels the same way, right? Partner, we're as interested in our client's success as
Yeah.
they are. And that extends on the other side. You want your software company and your partners there to
Yeah.
also be successful. That's what makes a sticky business relationship.
That's a great
That what
point.
makes people tolerate the bumps that we're all going to have.
Mhm.
You may be having turnover inside your nonprofit team, and there may be folks who literally were given like a login and thoughts and prayers. Like, here you go, here's your CRM. And so you've got to expect that the support person is going to be trying to figure out where your knowledge begins and ends about a thing so that they can support you correctly. Pam,
Yeah.
are you facing a lot of newbies, people who are brand new to the organization trying to navigate this new technology and they have not been formally trained?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just with the way the nonprofit world is, I mean, there is going to be some turnover from time to time. So, somebody might just get kind of thrown in there and not really have any training. And that's fine. I mean, that's kind of why we're there, whether it's, point you in the direction of our training system,
Mhm.
where you can kind of learn yourself using our resources, or you want to set up a time and speak with us, or just do, the little phone calls whenever you have a question or an email and kind of go from there. But yeah, I
You
mean,
can
I don't
call,
have to.
just a little
You
call.
can
It's
call.
not a big deal.
Call.
Caroline, got thoughts to add to that?
I do. Yeah. It's interesting. So the whole onboarding process in general, right? It
Mhm.
can be stressful. You're transferring of data, learning a new system. We as a software company want you to use Elio. Like we want, if you are paying for this product, we want you on it. We have people reach out to you to
Mhm.
say, hey, you haven't logged in a while. We're here for you. How can we get this going again? Because we do really care. I think a lot of softwares care
They
to
do.
your point, Maureen, right?
Mhm.
Like we we don't want you to just sign up for Elio, never use it, and feel like it wasn't an effective tool for you. Software companies want you to feel valued, and you
Right.
are valued. So I think it's really important from step one of onboarding to all the
Mhm.
way to maybe an exit survey that you feel like you're valued by the company just as much as you value them.
Yeah, and everybody's there's some support, situations or scenarios that are going to be very straightforward to
Mhm.
solve. Very straightforward. It's going to take one interaction, boom, you're all set.
Mhm.
For other things, especially if there's a level of troubleshooting involved, maybe a form was not set up properly, you thought you were setting it up right, but missed a step, or created some setting that conflicted with another setting that you chose to use. Having patience with yourself first
Mhm.
and being open to feedback. So if lovely Pam says, oh, I see what happened here. You toggled this on and then you toggled the other one off and it created some conflict or problem. You've just got to let the support work itself out, even if you're feeling, a sense of urgency. And I love in our last literally like 3 minutes, again, told you it was going to go by really quickly. Um, how would is it okay? What's your thought personally and professionally? There's seems to be a lot of default to email generally in business communication, just a lot of back and forth, a lot of back and forth. 17 emails later, you've not moved forward 1 inch. So, is it okay for a nonprofit client or staffer to say, I need to talk to you? Like, I need to actually speak with you. Do you find that that's more helpful than emails, Pam, or is it kind of it depends on the situation?
I definitely think it depends, but to your point, I think that there can be times where maybe you're not understanding one another via email.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just, what takes 5 emails back and forth might take 10 minutes on the phone. So if you get on the phone, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves on is overall our support and just helping our clients, but also
Mhm.
that we have live support, because that if that's something that's important to your organization, you want to have that person. So it doesn't take you a full day of sending emails back and forth. That's something you might want to look out for and make sure that is something that the company you go with is
Mhm.
available, has available.
Yeah.
Caroline, what advice would you give to folks who are not technical? They don't have a lot of confidence in their ability to describe what they were trying to do or what they did. I think lots of accidental techies are just worried that they've broken something beyond repair and they don't really have the vocabulary or the technical language. What tips would you give for those folks? Because there's a billion of them out there who are just like, I'm going to feel dumb. So
Yeah.
I might not even ask support. I might just live with something that's broken.
Yeah, and we do see that. I would say the biggest thing is step one is choosing a software that meets you where you are. So
Mm,
oftentimes you can go with a software that has all the bells and whistles. It's this really incredible platform. Um, but it's going to take you either a really long time to learn it, or you're
yeah.
just going to accept those things that you don't know and maybe even use
Mm,
it improperly accidentally.
yeah.
Um, so there are so many software options out there. Search for that one that fits your needs, and really nail down what those needs are. So that's
Yeah.
step number one. Step number 2 would absolutely be to, if they have introductory trainings, that's everything. Before you do anything on your system, like literally log in, schedule a training, or hop on there once they're pre-recorded. Pre-recorded videos can be really helpful too. Always visual. I know I'm a visual person. Oftentimes the visuals help. So really diving into those trainings. And then once you've gotten that background, that base of knowledge for that specific software, then maybe get on with the support specialist. And I know to this point that sometimes on other softwares, your time with your specialist can be limited, right? So that makes it even more important that you're spending time beforehand. Because if you don't know, then it's those hours that you're paying for that are kind of wasted. Once you finally get on with that support specialist. So those would be the 2 big things: choosing a software that meets you where you're at, and then really using that knowledge base to your advantage before scheduling a one-on-one training.
If you don't know what API means, you can look that up, somewhere. It's like blah, blah, blah. It's like the Charlie Brown teacher voice. We hear wah, 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 and I'm already out. Like, I'm not tracking. I don't get it. So I think what you're saying, Caroline, is it's the philosophy of both the organization and the software provider need to be aligned, that it's okay to use whatever words you can to describe a problem. And there's nothing wrong if you don't know the term. As long as you're able to make yourself understood, don't worry about, getting super technical. And so Pam, I'm going to give you the mic for our last little minute here. I love to do accidental techie pep talks in these sessions. Like, make them feel like you can do this. You don't have to be a professional to learn how to do this. What accidental techie pep talk would you give to folks who want to improve their interactions with support, whether it's with you and Eleo or any of the other nonprofit companies out there?
I mean, I think pretty much a lot of the things that we've hit on is think of it as a partnership. Know what you want. Really focus that, and then that way it's going to be much easier to get you the answer or result that you need. Just really stay calm. Know that we're there to help you. That's a big thing. Most support
maintain low tones.
That's really it. We're there to help, and that's all you need.
You've just hit it right on the head. It's about your tude. It's about your attitude, because that is contagious. So if you go into a scenario sort of snarly and angry, I'm sure Pam would still be delightful and polite and pleasant, but it's all about the bringing your whole self and just saying, I need help, and not feeling like it's a judgment on you, nonprofit staffer, that you're stuck. All of us get stuck every single day. Caroline, any pep talk stuff from your perspective as we close it out for this session?
I think it's important to probably note too that when you're speaking with different softwares, to get them on the phone, go on a live demo. To your point, people mirror your personality in a way. Psychology is a crazy thing. But you can then get a vibe for who that company is, right? And you are allowed to be whoever you are as a nonprofit, right? It's okay to look for a software that also matches your vibe. And so talking to people, seeing people can be really beneficial in knowing you're going to feel helped in your process.
Pay attention to that. Like, even from the initial interaction, is the person that you're meeting with feeling like they could be helpful to you, or are they rushing you? There's just a lot of signs that pay attention to your gut is what I'd say there. So it is possible to get good customer support from a nonprofit technology provider. I want to prove it. People thought it was like the abominable snowman, but yes, it actually exists. I've chatted a couple of links. Eleo has a great guide. I love guides about educating yourself on how to buy nonprofit software and not have regret 3 months later. Eleo has a guide that you can grab. So I've chatted in their resources page link here. Pam, Caroline, this was all I hoped it would be and more. So thank you both so much. And even though I'm not using Eleo, Pam, I might call you if I get stuck. You're the kind of person I want to grab on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm wishing everybody a wonderful first weekend of April, and we'll see you right back here next Friday at 12:30. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a good rest of your
Maureen.
day. Bye, folks. Thanks for such a
Bye-bye.
great session.